Listen, man, no one's gonna tell you this, but I will. She doesn't respect what she never truly had, and the moment she finally realizes you're gone, that's when the weight of your absence hits her. It's not loud, it doesn't crash like a wave, and it doesn't demand attention. It creeps in slowly, quietly, through the corners of her mind, until every thought she has reminds her of the space you used to occupy. She won't fall apart immediately. She won't beg or chase or call you at 2 in the morning. No, she will notice the absence in the things she once took for granted, the stability you carried without complaint, the way you made her feel safe without needing to control, the quiet strength she ignored because it never screamed for recognition. She begins to see, slowly, that you were never just another man. You were a standard, a benchmark, someone whose presence demanded growth, whose absence exposes weaknesses, whose value cannot be replaced with charm, attention, or superficial validation. And it isn't just desire she feels, it's a creeping recognition that she allowed something rare to slip through her fingers. That the moments she laughed off, dismissed, or undervalued were actually the moments that mattered the most. At first she won't admit it. She may tell herself she's fine. She may convince herself that she doesn't miss you. She may fill her time with other people, parties, distractions, social media, anything to push away the quiet ache. But it's there, persistent, a shadow she cannot shake. She begins to replay conversations in her mind, small gestures, the way your presence altered her days without her realizing it. And with every passing hour, she notices the difference between what she has now and what she had when you were there. And it's undeniable. You see, men, she never valued what she could take for granted. She never desired what was endlessly available. But once you remove yourself, not out of anger, not to punish, but out of clarity and self-respect, desire shifts, perception sharpens, and clarity hits harder than any argument ever could. She begins to analyze herself, your connection, her choices. She asks herself questions she never wanted to answer. Did I ignore him? Did I take him for granted? Was I too caught up in my own ego to see what I had? And every time she asks, the answer is waiting for her. The truth of your absence. She starts to feel it in subtle ways, in the empty spaces of her day. A joke that once made her smile now echoes with a hollow weight. Advice she shrugged off as trivial now lands like truth she can't escape. Moments that were ordinary when you were present now feel significant in your absence, and she feels the sting of regret, not as a shout, not as confrontation, but as a quiet gnawing inside her chest, a reminder of something she can no longer reach. She may try to distract herself. She may attempt to replace your presence with another man's attention, but that attention is hollow. It cannot replicate what you offered because you weren't superficial, you weren't easily won, you didn't exist for validation. You existed as a measure, a standard, a man who knew his worth and refused to compromise it for convenience or ego, and that is what she is slowly discovering. The cruel truth that some men aren't meant to be replaced, that some presences cannot be replicated, that some values cannot be borrowed. As she continues to reflect, she begins to feel the emptiness of her own actions. She notices the ways she undervalued your consistency, your emotional control, your quiet authority. Every other man, every fleeting connection, every attempt at attention only reminds her of what she lost. She begins to understand that you were not just a man she had. You were a man who made her life better without asking for proof, a man who elevated her without demanding, a man whose absence now exposes the void in everything else. She begins to feel desire in a different way, not the frantic, need-driven desire of someone chasing attention. No, she feels a longing that is patient, measured, and quiet, but no less powerful. Desire, when confronted with absence, sharpens. Scarcity creates clarity. And now, she begins to grasp the value of what she cannot have, a presence that cannot be replicated, a stability she never appreciated, a man who refused to lower his standards. And this is the lesson men often never see. The most powerful impact isn't in fighting for her attention, it's in letting her realize it on her own. By stepping away, by holding your frame, by refusing to bend your standards for her approval, you reveal the truth of your worth without uttering a word. She can feel it, she can think about it, she can analyze it endlessly, she cannot escape it, and every day she spends trying to replace it only strengthens the realization that what she lost was rare, valuable, and fundamentally irreplaceable. Her mind will twist and turn, oscillating between pride and regret, self-justification and longing. She may never admit it to you. She may never act on it. She may pretend indifference to mask the gnawing recognition inside, but the awakening is real. The lesson is permanent. Every fleeting encounter she has, every distraction, every superficial validation will remind her, consciously or not, of what she lost. And that's the power of absence, the quiet authority of a man who refuses to settle, the unspoken truth that she cannot undo. Meanwhile, on your side, you've been burned, you've been undervalued, you've been ignored, but in walking away, you've done something far greater than reclaiming dignity. You've reclaimed yourself. You've proven, first to yourself, that your standards are non-negotiable. You've embodied the reality that no one's opinion of you can diminish your value, and her reckoning, her regret, her admiration, silent though it may be, is the reflection of the man you've chosen to become. Every interaction she has now is measured against the quiet power you carried. Every fleeting connection, every superficial compliment, every attempt at attention is filtered through the lens of your absence. She sees the difference, and she cannot escape it. Absence teaches more than presence ever could. Emotional detachment is not indifference, it is a mirror. You show her her choices without saying a word. You expose the cost of her actions by simply existing without compromise. And this is the truth, man. Walking away isn't weakness. Holding your frame isn't cruelty. Emotional detachment isn't lack of care. It's clarity, it's power, it's proof that your life and your standards are not negotiable. She may never tell you, she may never admit it, but the lesson is there. It is permanent, and in that permanence, you have your reward, the liberation of self-respect, the validation of your value, and the knowledge that you have lived by principles she can now only understand in retrospect. So stand firm, man. Guard your mind, hold your frame, move through life with quiet confidence, knowing that when she finally loses you, she isn't just losing a man, she's losing a standard, a presence, and a life-altering influence she cannot replace. Let her mind churn, let her question, let her regret. That is not your concern. Your concern is mastery. Mastery over yourself, over your standards, over your life. And that is a reward no one can take from you. That is the proof of your worth. That is the reality she will feel in every quiet, empty moment she spends remembering what she let slip away.